An Ajax request is when you ask the server for permission to a certain file. To do this, we use the open method. As with all methods, we first need an object. So here we have our function, new Ajax. We've been over this already, and I'm just going to go over it once more, so hopefully this makes complete sense. We have variable Ajax. We just defined it. We didn't set a value. That's okay. We said if window.xml HTTP request is true, which is Internet Explorer 7 or higher, Chrome, Safari, or Firefox, then we're going to use a new XML HTTP request. Otherwise, we're going to use a new ActiveX object. And that's, again, for Internet Explorer 5 and 6. All this is a function to quickly return our Ajax object. To get our object, we need the value of variable Ajax from the code above. Luckily, we can get that because the function returns the Ajax variable, where it says return Ajax, and in either case, it's going to give us a value here. It's either going to be an XML HTTP request or an ActiveX object. And in both scenarios, it's going to return the Ajax value. So to get this, all we have to do is write variable, your Ajax handler name, and this could really be anything. I just usually write Ajax handler or something like that, so we're familiar with what we are working with. And the variable is just the function. What this means is what this is. So our value here is whatever is returned back from the function. And if we go back one step farther, Ajax is either going to be an ActiveX object or an XML HTTP request. And now that we have our object, which is called your Ajax handler name, which is just up here, and again you can change it to whatever you like, we can now use the open method. The open method has 3 parameters. The first one is a method, the second one is a URL, and the third one is if it's asynchronous or not. Method is either get or post, and this part will make a lot more sense once we reach the forms section in the PHP area. For now, just know that get is a lot less secure than post, and that post can hold unlimited data. Get cannot hold unlimited data. URL is a link to the file that you want to access. This is best if you have direct access to the file, if it's on the same server that you're on or the same website that you're on. Trying to Ajax another website doesn't usually turn out too great. That's because you're trying to access someone else's file. That's like you trying to access someone else's TV from within your house. In most cases, if you took your remote and you just flicked your remote, you said channel up or volume down, something like that, it's not going to affect their TV. And asynchronous is whether or not that you want to load this page while being able to load other scripts. In my opinion, always set this to true, and that allows your Ajax to actually be asynchronous. So while your other JavaScript is running and it can continue to use its listeners or its functions, or you want to modify document object models, you can keep doing that. This is better learned in an example. For example, we have variable Ajax handler is equal to new Ajax, and that's from the function earlier. Variable Ajax handler.open. We wrote post, mypage.html, and true. Where post is the method, we can have post or get, right? Post is more secure, holds unlimited data. Get is the opposite. Mypage.html is the URL, and that just means we're going to load this page. True is the asynchronous parameter, meaning it's going to asynchronously load mypage.html while all the other JavaScript is able to run at the same time. Now if we try and run this, nothing will happen. We made the request, we set everything right, so why does this not work? Well, if we pretend that your request is real-life paperwork or like a letter, it's not going to get anywhere unless you send that letter or unless you mail it. We use the send method to send our request. So now all of a sudden, it looks like this. Variable Ajax handler is equal to new Ajax, and that's from the function earlier. Ajax handler.open. We have our method, it's post, our page, mypage.html, and true to load so that everything else can run while this is loading. Then we have Ajax handler.send, and this will just send the request. So open is like filling out the paperwork, send is actually sending the paperwork in. In theory, this will work. All we need to do is somehow get the information from our request inside a variable. And we'll touch on this part really soon.